Well, joining us now is Ibrahim Saeed, who is coordinator of the Liverpool Region Mosque Network. Thank you very much for joining us, Ibrahim. Firstly, your reaction to these protests?
I think what the motivation of these protests and these disturbances is to kind of shake up the nation and get the nation thinking about a particular agenda. And the agenda that these far-right activists, EDL or whoever they are, is to be anti-Muslim and to stoke up hatred and enmity and unwelcomeness towards Muslims. So what I want to ask people, or what I want people to ponder on, is consider how we must be feeling. I'm a British-born Muslim who's 40 years old, second/third generation in the UK, like the vast majority of the Muslims in this country are. This is making us feel unwelcome, that we don't belong here. But actually, we are born and brought up here. We're raised here. We studied here. We're educated here. We're part of the system. We contribute to society, and we very much belong here. So I am calling on the government to take strong action against these far-right groups, to prescribe these groups like EDL and other far-right groups like they have with extreme Islamist groups. And
you just said there prescribing those groups would be the reaction you would want from the government. What else would you like to see?
I think there needs to be more effort from this new government on community cohesion. We saw in the aftermath of the 2001 riots, there was a lot of investment and effort and energy put into community cohesion. But 23 years later, Britain has changed. It's much more diverse. The country has changed. The demographics have changed. Much more focus needs to be put on community cohesion and making and building a more inclusive society.
Ibrahim, do you feel safe?
Honestly, no. We feel, there's people who are causing havoc across cities, across our country, and the anger that we see that they're, putting towards shop fronts and police is actually directed at us as Muslims. And I think that's quite dangerous. And Muslims up and down this country at this moment are feeling vulnerable, anxious, and targeted.
What do you make of the police response so far?
I think, I can speak specifically about Merseyside Police. Merseyside Police have been fantastic. We can't fault them in any way, shape or form. They've been so supportive to the mosques that we represent, 20 or so mosques across the Liverpool City region. There's been close correspondence, direct communication, through our channels, where they've kept us updated almost hourly, which has been reassuring for the communities, and the police presence and contact with the mosques has been fantastic. Our message to communities has been not to confront and not to come out to face these protesters and rioters, because that's what they want. They want to fight us on the streets, and that's the reaction that we're not going to give them. We're gonna let the police take care of the rioters and the disturbance, but we're calling on the government to take strong action, which I'm hopeful that this government will.
And just briefly, Ibrahim, we're going into the night of Saturday. We had a lot of sort of violent events today across the country. Liverpool had some big-scale protests. How are you feeling going into the night?
Anxious as we speak. There's another mosque, which is a smaller mosque, where we've learned from the police that protesters or demonstrators or rioters are going towards. We've advised that mosque to be closed. So nobody will be at that mosque. So if they do, attack the mosque, hopefully there'll be no people who will be hurt or injured. And the police have, reassured us, because they've said that there's lots of resource available. Unfortunately, sadly, police have been injured. So we're very grateful to the police, who are doing a fantastic job.
OK, Ibrahim, thank you very much for joining us. Ibrahim Saeed, who's the coordinator of the Liverpool Region Mosque Network. Well, joining us now is Thomas McGill, our correspondent, who's been